when we were sort of reinvigorating Gray with a more creative spirit, I think where you have to start is with the culture. You know, a lot of people always ask, is it the work that leads the culture, or is it the culture that leads the work? I strongly believe the culture leads the work, because the culture will last if you can build it up. And I think one of the things we've been able to do in Gray is to really build at the core of what we believe in is the creative process and the creative product. And as long as everybody in the agency believes that, and I'm not talking about the creative department, I'm talking about the planning group, I'm talking about the account group, everybody believes that great creative will set us free. I think that when everyone believes that and everyone works towards that, that's when greatness happens. One thing that a lot of agencies tend to miss in the culture piece is that you cannot separate the departments. There should be no walls between, both literally and figuratively. There really shouldn't, because you can have a great creative department, and if you don't have a great planning group and a great account group, you're not going to be a great agency. And so I think that separation and feeling that, you know, if the agency as a whole feels that the creative problem solving is up to the creative department, that's a very, very bad thing. Everybody should be solving those problems creatively. We actually have an award at Gray called the Heroic Failure Award. And then the reason we have it is so many businesses, they punish risk-taking. And so what happens when you punish risk-taking is people don't take risks, because the last thing you want to do is get slapped for it. And in a creative business, you have to be pushing outside the lines. And so we actually, we have an award we've been giving out for about 5 years. Only 7 people have won it in 5 years. And it's called the Heroic Failure Award. And we give it to people who have amazing, amazing ideas, brave ideas that we put out there and they completely fail, right? Doesn't work the way you hoped. The public rejects it. Bad press, you lose a client. I mean, these are major things that can happen. But if we really believe in that idea, instead of punishing that person, we actually reward them. I think a lot of the work that we've done is pretty risky. Actually, today I showed some new DirecTV work, and that's a very brave client. And I think the team that runs it at Gray is also very brave, and that work is, you know, when you're doing big media buys and doing ads that don't have a single product benefit or a single mention about your product other than that it's better than the competition, I think that's a bit risky, and it's paying off. I think that also internally, there's a ton of things that we do, you know, that taking risks every single day. Even in the way we present ourselves to clients, one of the ways that we do new business pitches is we have a 3-minute video that we show. And we tell them before we show it, we're going to show you this 3-minute video, and then we're not going to talk about ourselves at all after this. It's a bit risky, but I think it helps, because frankly, you know, I think clients don't want to hear as much about you. They want to hear about you solving their problems. People want to see a story. They want to follow a story. They want a beginning, a middle, and an end, you know, and I think it's one of the reasons why film and video is still as relevant as it is. Even though that we've been talking for years and years about the death of television. It still hasn't happened, by the way, but we're going to talk about it until it does. But what's interesting is that the video and film, I think, is now being, to your question about the digital space, it's amazing how still the things we're talking about in the digital space oftentimes are still films and stories, right? They're stories. And I think until we really, really figure out, and we will, how to tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end that's compelling and you want to follow without using moving picture or image, we're going to be using a lot of film and video, and we're going to be taking a lot of pictures. You know, now there's some examples of telling stories without either of those things, but they're few and far between.